This is a part of a course where we learn Godot by making a 2D game, a vampire survival clone with a scalable architecture. Press like if it's been useful. In this part, we're gonna update our theme for ability cards variations, make few improvements to the project, and create the gameplay UI. We added to our player the camera, so when our player is moving, we can see where we're going because the viewport itself will move alongside it. Cool, but we got a small issue. You'll see it when you will run one of your test scenes like player applyability. You see this? Well, the viewport is adjusting the camera to the player, but our UI for picking the spells is showing somewhere here. Why? Well, because this is the place where the viewport in our scene starts. You can see here's our viewport of the scene, and here's the actual viewport when we run the scene, because that's where is the camera. So how to make our ability pick to also render by actual viewport by taking the camera in count? That's very easy to fix. You just need to use a special node named canvas layer. This one is rendered by the camera or actual viewport of your running scene. So it will start here and take all of this space. You don't see it, it doesn't have any sizes, it's just the actual viewport. So everything you need to be on the screen always, no matter in 2D, 3D, when you rotate, move your camera, you just place it inside it. And if you need to have multiple or need to adjust who will be above, who will be on top, you just go here and you adjust the layer. That's it. And also you can hide them. Let's try again. And yeah, you see now it goes right by our camera like as we need it. The next small issue you could encounter is in our ability pick. Well, right now we have just few abilities, in my case 3, the sting, the bomb, and the passive damage increasing. But in your game you maybe will have much more spells, or maybe the cards will be bigger or anything else. So you will see that if we took too much place, well, our UI will be a bit broken because there's no enough space for the text, and this container for abilities cards will just push everything out. So what we can do with it? In such situations, you need just to use scroll container to show all available content, and if it will overflow, just to show scroll and scroll the content. We don't want to use scroll inside this container because it already creates a flow. We render cards, if no enough space, they will go to a new line and so on. We need to keep this, but to add scroll. So we want to add scroll container, not inside, but as a parent for this container. So that container will be inside the scroll. The container itself will be scrollable. Okay, if you don't want to play with just grabbing and placing them in the right place, playing with this, well, you could target the parent inside which you want it to be. Or there is the same like rep parent, and pick to what parent you want to place it. And then grab and place it inside. Well, where are our cards? We need in our scroll container to tell it use all available space here in our vertical container. So let's go here and vertical expand, and it will use all available spaces. And in our ability container, I already enabled it, but you need to use expand too for both horizontal and vertical. And now your cards are rendering by the flow of this container, and this container itself will be scrollable, and no worries about overflow with cards amount. Next, again, back to our player applyability test. If we run it, we'll see all our cards are like the same. They're dark with white text, but in our ability pick script, we already adjust for each one by is it passive ability or not. We set for each card the type variation. Passive ability container for the passives and active ability container for the active. So we are switching types in our theme. We just don't create those variations in the theme. So let's copy this, go to our app theme, and same as we created variations for HP and XP bars, let's create a new one. Panel, no. Go to the right, paste type, no, rename it, okay. Rename it to passive ability container, like this. And now, in the most right, paste type, again, panel. Yeah, they a bit confuse this stuff. Now, let's go to the styles, and here they are empty. Let's add new, and pick style box flat. For now, I will use, just for test, some bright color. I don't know, maybe this one. Let's just see it works. So the passive will get this color because we registered this type in our theme. Let's run it again. Yeah, it works. So now we just need to add, say, in same way, in our theme, new for the panel, rename it to active ability container, save base type as a panel, and the same way, style box flat, and pick any color you would like for your active abilities. Okay, all you got to do is to adjust those styles to whatever you like, maybe some border radius, maybe other color. I will use a bit transparent color, but again, it's up to you. Now about the game UI. Anytime you need to create an UI, the best way to make it is to plan it in some image editor or any place you can draw, because here it's very easy to see where is going on all this stuff and to think of all of it like of rects. Well, we have our player viewport. Let's say this is our camera. So our player viewport, it's like entire screen, and we got there two progress bars for the XP and HP, like this. Okay, this is the player viewport. Next, I want in my game UI to add menu button. Well, just a plain button with some text like menu, and I want it to be somewhere from the right top corner. So again, I will have another box. It's gonna be my game viewport, and this one I want to be here. But how I will make it to be here? Well, any control node, we can adjust its position by any corner, but I don't want it to touch the corner. I need some margin. So there will be the container, margin container, with margin from top and right, like this. So I can clearly see what nodes I will need, how they will look like, approximately where they will be positioned. I don't need to keep all this in mind. I can actually create my UI here and prototype it, change anything very fast while I will get to the final stage I would like to have. Well, also, I want in my game viewport to have game menu, well, some background that will take entire viewport, like some black background. Let's no mark it like this. No transparent color. Well, like this. No, that's awful. Okay. Let's say that it's a background. And I want in my game menu, well, when I press the menu button, to see two buttons. Let's copy this one. Well, continue or something like keep playing, keep fighting, go on. And the exit button. Like this. Okay, so to make them go in column order, I need one more container that will be the vertical box container, and it will be just adjusted legend by the middle of the parent node. So this is one is the game menu node. It will be inside the game viewport. Well, to not place it like this and not barely seen items on top of each other, I can make a separate tree where I will show for myself that this one is the parent for this one. And here's our gameplay UI scene. This is the root node, and the player viewport is on the same level as the game viewport. This is one instance inside. Clear? Next, I want two screens for defeat and the victory. So the same idea, the panel, let's mark it, it's a panel. Just this one is for defeat. And well, when we are defeated, I will need just plain text, no the button, just a text like defeat. Maybe you would like to see an image, some other background, but I will keep it simple for now. And the exit button. Maybe you will call it menu or something else. And the victory. the same idea, panel, virtual vbox, just victory text, and same exit. And while we are planning this, we are making this all here, we can see that those three are almost the same. So the panel, vbox, and here two buttons, here text button. Well, this and this is the same structure. So you could create a separate scene with a panel, virtual box, vertical box inside, and like a template, and reuse it. Maybe some images, some other adjustments. Well, when you see those pictures, that's manual stuff are the same to make it reusable. I won't do it. I will keep them as separate because I don't have the final vision for my game, because it's just a tutorial to help you make your game. So I will keep them separate. And the last one, but not the least, also in our gameplay UI, we have to add our ability pick, but it's already existed scene, same as the player viewport. I can mark them. That's that they are not new here, like this. So now we can actually create this when we see the entire picture. So under the scripts, gameplay UI, under the gameplay create UI folder, then create the gameplay UI and create gameplay UI scene, and make the root node to be canvas layer, because we need to be this UI to be on top of everything in our scene, and to be always on the same position as actual viewport, everything that player sees. Now the first is the easiest, just instantiate here the player viewport scene. Next, add new control node, name it game viewport, okay, and make it take entire viewport. Next, by our plan, margin container should be from the right. This container will be a parent for our button. So let's add inside button and name it menu button, like this. The text is the menu, and take our margin container, them overrides, constants, and let's add margins from top and from the right, like this. And it's clear and not touching the viewport. Maybe let's use 20. Okay. Next, under our game viewport, let's add new control node and call it game menu. This one also will take entire place, but will be hidden by default. So inside it, we need panel as a background. Same, take entire viewport. I won't change the color. You could make it less transparent or more dark, but rename it to background, so we clearly understand what this node in the tree is for. Now, vbox, same, entire viewport, or no, not entire viewport. Let's place it at the middle. And two buttons. First button is continue button, and here will be the text continue. And just clone it. Well, you can clone not by Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, or just press Ctrl+D. This makes fast copy of selected code line or the node. Second button will be the exit button, and let's change text. Well, cool, but they are almost touching each other. Let's increase the space between, let's use 20, like this. Cool. You could also add some title like menu or pause or anything. I will keep it simple. Okay, game menu is done, and we can hide it for now. Next, just clone this one and name it the feed menu, and it's all the same, just no continue button. Change the type to label, name this just a label, and here we will say the feed, and exit button remains. Okay, and again clone, hide, and name this one victory menu. Well, label should text be victory. Yeah, exit button, and I think that's it, and also hide it. And the last one, instantiate here ability pick scene, and it will be also hidden. Again, our game viewport is the UI that will be used, I think, in each hour level. You could have different UIs, but in my vision, it's like a coarse, simple UI reusable across the game. And when player will be like defeated, dead, or maybe some time, no time left on the level, whatever your conditions for the victory are, you will just show the needed menu like this, fast and simple. You don't need to instantiate them dynamically. They will be pre-created and just show and hide needed menu like this. And also to have easy access to them, let's create the variables. While access as a unique name for menu button. Also in our game menu, let's do the same for continue button, exit button. Let's, I think, make this actually for each menu. We'll need it later when we will manipulate them, and for each button that we need to grab and do anything. Oh, no, my bad. Exit button we don't need. Exit button only from the game menu. And in the defeat screen, we don't need this. Defeat, victory, same, use and access, and yeah, that's it. Well, we'll control all this menu by listening to the signals. So in our gameplay UI, we need to touch the script, and here we need to get the game menu reference, and we'll have three functions. When menu button is pressed, we'll call pause. We already have the signal and the handler for that, and game menu show. When player press continue, we'll hide game menu and call unpause. And for the exit, but this one is for now empty because we need the scene manager, the separate node, separate module that will switch scenes in our game. We'll add that in the next part. Just don't forget to attach signals. So in our menu button, go to signals, pressed, pick the menu button is pressed, connect. It won't show instantly, but here we go. We see we connected the button. Same do for continue here. Go to your game menu, continue button, and pick the continue button pressed. And to not forget, make it in our next part, you can also hold your exit buttons to connect the pressed signal to our function that for now is doing nothing, but we will make it work in next part. Okay, like this. And in our game menu there are also exit buttons, so 3 buttons should be connected. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this part and see you in the next one.